So, why do good decisions still feel uncomfortable? Well, here's the truth people don't like hearing. The right decision often feels harder in the moment because it doesn't immediately relieve discomfort, but it reduces long term friction. Discomfort is not a sign that you're wrong. Sometimes it's a sign that you're choosing growth over relief. Welcome to the Personal Mastery and Growth Podcast, where we explore the keys to unlocking your full potential and living your best life. I'm your host, Jose Johnson. Whether you're looking to make a breakthrough, overcome a challenge, or simply live with greater clarity, joy, and purpose, you'll find the tools and inspirations you need right here. So let's start your journey towards personal mastery and growth right now. Welcome back to the Personal Mastery and Growth Podcast, your go-to resource for practical tips, insightful research, and inspiring stories to help you unlock your full potential. I'm your host, Jose Johnson, and I'm an expert in the fields of mindfulness, mindset, and peak performance, and I'm so glad to have you here with me today. Now, this episode is part 2 of our deep dive into what happens when stress takes over. Now, in the last episode, we explored emotional hijacking, why logic disappears and emotion takes the wheel. Now, today we're going to take it one step further, because emotional hijacking doesn't just affect how you feel. It fundamentally changes how you decide. Have you ever looked back at a decision and thought, I don't know why I chose that? I felt rushed. I felt cornered. I felt like I had no choice. And maybe in the moment, the decision felt right, urgent, necessary, obvious. But later, once the pressure lifted, you wondered, how did I not see the other options? That's not bad judgment. That's stress-distorted decision-making. And today, we're going to unpack why urgency lies to you and how to make better decisions even when you don't feel calm, clear, or confident. So here is a very critical reframe. Under stress, options don't disappear. They become invisible. Stress narrows our perception. It shortens time horizons. It collapses thinking into binary choices. Act or fail. Say yes or lose. Decide now or miss out. Now, this is why stress-driven decisions often feel like I had no choice. But what's really happening is that your brain has entered threat mode. And threat mode prioritizes speed over wisdom. And this is why urgency often feels true, but often isn't. Urgency is one of the most deceptive signals in decision making. When you feel urgency, your heart rate increases, your attention narrows, your brain searches for immediate relief. Urgency feels like truth, but urgency is not information. It's a state, and state shape decisions more than facts. And this is why people say yes when they actually mean no. They quit when they should just pause. They commit when they actually need more clarity. They react when reflection would serve them much better. Urgency creates the illusion that speed equals safety, but it doesn't always. So let's look at the biology behind bad decisions. So we're going to demystify this. Under stress, the brain prioritizes survival. Our ability to recognize long-term consequences fades, and emotional relief becomes the goal. Your decision-making system asks, what will reduce discomfort right now? Not what aligns with my values, what supports my future self. That's why stress-driven decisions often solve the moment and create bigger problems later. Now, there are 3 decision distortions that are caused by stress. Most poor decisions under pressure fall into one of these 3 traps. The first, false binary thinking. This or nothing, now or never, yes or disaster. Reality is rarely binary, but stress makes it feel that way. Number 2, short-term relief bias. choosing what reduces discomfort fastest, avoiding a hard conversation, overcommitting to stop guilt, making a quick choice just to end the tension. Relief feels good, but relief isn't always resolution. Number 3, identity protective decisions. Choosing what protects your self-image. Decisions driven by, I don't want to look incompetent. I don't want to disappoint. I don't want to lose my status. Now, these decisions feel personal because they are. So now let's consider why sleep on it sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. You've probably heard the advice, just sleep on it. Well, that works if the nervous system actually settles. But many people sleep on it while replaying the decision all night long. And that's not recovery. That is rumination. The goal isn't time alone. The goal is state change. Clear decisions come from regulated systems, not just delayed ones. All right, so let's get tactical with a very practical framework that you can start using right now. It's called the C.L.E.A.R decision filter. C.L.E.A.R stands for calm the system, list real options, evaluate from values, ask about future costs, respond, don't react. So let's break this down carefully. Let's start with C, calm the system, just enough. You don't need perfect calm. You need enough regulation to think. That might mean stepping away briefly, slowing the breath, walking before deciding, saying, I need a moment. No decision framework works in full hijack. L, list real options. Now, this is where stress lies to you. Force yourself to write down at least 3 options, including not yet and ask for support. Now, if you can only see one option, you're still in threat mode. E, evaluate from values, not emotions. Ask yourself, which option aligns with my values? Which option supports who I want to be under pressure? Not which one feels easiest or which option avoids discomfort. Value-based decisions age better. A, ask about future cost. Every decision has a cost. So ask, what will this cost me in a week, in a month, in a year? Short-term relief often comes with long-term debt. And R, respond, don't react. A response is chosen. A reaction is automatic. You don't need certainty. You need congruence. Hey there, feeling stuck? Spinning your wheels? Are you ready for a breakthrough? Well, then you need to hear this because I've got something that will supercharge your growth this year, and it's called the Mindset Makeover. Now, it's my new book and course that are designed to help you upgrade the mental software that drives your success. And inside, you're going to discover the mindsets that shape every decision, every habit, and every result. And you'll learn the science-backed tools to rewire your thinking for clarity, confidence, and unstoppable momentum. So whether you're aiming higher, trying to break free from old patterns, or finally stepping into that version of yourself that you know that you're capable of becoming, well, this is your launch pad. So don't wait. Head over to josejohnson.com/mindset to grab the book, join the course, or get both together. Again, that's josejohnson.com/mindset. And remember, it is what it is, but it becomes what you make it. And with the Mindset Makeover, you can make it something extraordinary. So let's look at a couple of real-life examples. Example 1 is overcommitting. Stress says, say yes so you don't disappoint. C.L.E.A.R says, what does this cost my energy, time, and integrity? Much different outcome. Now, another example is quitting too fast. Stress says, get out now. C.L.E.A.R asks, what's the future cost of leaving without clarity? Because pause changes everything. So, why do good decisions still feel uncomfortable? Well, here's the truth people don't like hearing. The right decision often feels harder in the moment because it doesn't immediately relieve discomfort, but it reduces long-term friction. Discomfort is not a sign that you're wrong. Sometimes it's a sign that you're choosing growth over relief. All right, so let's zoom out. Episode 69 taught you that stress amplifies conditioning. Episode 70 showed you how emotions hijack logic. Episode 71 gives you a way to decide anyway. And this is what mastery looks like. Not perfect calm, not flawless judgment, but skillful navigation under pressure. All right, so here's what I want you to remember. The next time you feel rushed into a decision, urgency is not truth. Pressure is not clarity. And discomfort is not danger. The quality of your life is shaped less by the big decisions you make when you feel confident and more by the small decisions you make when you feel stressed, tired, or uncertainty. Because that's where mastery lives. All right. So if you've enjoyed this episode, please make sure that you like and subscribe and share it with somebody who could benefit from this knowledge. And remember, it is what it is, but it becomes what you make it. So make it great. Thanks for tuning in. Before we wrap up, I just want to remind you that the information shared in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute for professional advice or treatment. While the content of this podcast is based on research and personal experience, everyone's situation is unique, and the advice given may not be applicable to all. Always consult a qualified professional before making significant changes in your life. The Personal Mastery and Growth podcast is recorded at the So Good Media Studios located in the Candy Factory, a co-working space in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.